Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Masters Korea special match. And now we're down.
Special.
It is very special because now we're down to 2 people on each side.
Yeah, that's right. Orange versus Looksam, and then I mean we've got Savits and Flurry left over.
Yes. So we'll see who decides to last out the entire tournament. Whether it's going to be the Global Geniuses with Orange and Savits now standing strong, or if Flurry and Looksam. It's ironic because Flurry and Looksam were the ones that didn't make it to the finals of Season 1. But now they're the one defending the honor of Korean Hearthstone.
It's a good point.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, actually.
A redemption story, if you will.
For Looksam and Flurry.
That's right.
Well, kicking things off, as we said, in the second half of today, will be Orange going up against Looksam. And, I mean, Orange looked solid. So did Looksam, though. But
he did.
You know, I feel like Orange seemed to make plays that definitely made, they were more of those like aha plays where you could tell that he was thinking 2 steps ahead, whereas Looksam, I think, really just kind of made the plays that he needed to turn by turn that needed to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, Looksam is like your like workhorse Hearthstone player. You know, he's just going to keep methodically moving on, making good decisions, and kind of getting the wins. But yeah, Orange is a really exciting player to watch right now. He's very intelligent, brings good decks. Palmblad, you know, who ended up going down to Orange in, I believe it was the 5th game even.
Yeah.
Brought some unique stuff again, but in the end, you know, I feel like he finally ran into that wall where uniqueness kind of runs into really, really good play and runs into really good adaptation, I would think, more than anything. So, didn't work out for him this time. We'll see what Orange can do.
Yeah, so we will meet the players. Just a quick reminder and an introduction of what decks they brought today.
Yep.
First up, it will be Looksam, who did take the first win of the day in terms of matches, and I believe also the first set itself against Life Coach. He won 3-1 versus Life Coach to kick things off today here at the special match at OGN for Hearthstone.
Yep. Rogue, Druid, and Paladin were the decks. Of course, getting wins with all 3 of those, because you need to in Conquest format. Yep. And winning his match 3-1 as well, too. So winning it at a little bit higher rate than Orange was able to take.
Yeah, bringing out the Rogue, too, which Rogue wasn't as common in the recent tournaments and generally on ladder, not doing as well. Again, that's kind of the result of the meta overall going a lot slower, where, yeah, sure, Rogue may be able to win, but now when you have more taunts and, you know, a lot of these bigger minions that threaten you a little faster, and you can't clear them as well with Blade Flurry, then it does run into a problem.
Yep, that's right. And, you know, even though this is only a 2-day event, too, we haven't really talked about this as much. There is actually some big money on the line. The winning team gets $3,000 each just for this 2-day event. So there's pretty decent money, actually, for a little, it's not a show match, but a special event.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it definitely is. It's definitely a competitive match.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just that we are limiting it down to 4 people from each to kind of represent each other. But let's jump right into the first game of this matchup.
It's going to be Warrior versus Rogue. Starting things out, Orange rocking that Warrior deck that we saw work pretty well earlier. And Looksam with the Rogue.
All right, and yet, once again, Oil Rogue not as common. In fact, at the HTC Invitational just recently,
Oil Rogues
went 0-2.
Yeah, Oil Rogue's kind of fallen off a little bit lately, and I believe, yeah, Solsiho and Looksam were the only 2 that brought Rogue. No, I'm sorry, Flurry brought Rogue as well, too. So, still, less than half of the players even bringing the class. Does say something about the state of Rogue in this meta right now.
Yeah. And as you noted, Doa, yeah, the whole 4v4 format is definitely just for now. You know, OGN, we do have plans to do kind of these special matches after each season, but we'll see what we settle on in terms of format and whatnot. But I think this is a good start.
I say bigger and better next time.
Oh,
Look at this. What is that? Like a?
Oh, that is banana bread.
Somebody bent my Twinkie. Oh, it's banana bread. Okay.
It's banana bread, but shaped as a banana.
Just give people bent Twinkies.
Bent Twinkies.
It's like, what's the difference between Twinkies in Korea and Twinkies in the US? Well, the ones in Korea are bent.
Someone just
Amazing.
goes to the factory and just like bends them all.
That's right.
Just, like,
No, they've got
ruins these Twinkies.
they've got sort of like a machine that they run them through. You know? Everything's automated these days, Shobra.
No, I'm sorry.
We're in the 21st century now, man.
Still stuck in the 80s, man.
That's right. Back when they bent Twinkies by hand. Ah, the good old days. Oh, Looksam's just going to go ahead and do a little bit of damage. Make that a weapon. And so,
Well,
will
double.
we,
No, my bad. Go ahead.
will we get to see the Blackguard Corruptor? Is it black?
The Black Art Corruptor?
Blackguard Corruptor?
Isn't it Blackwing?
Blackwing Corruptor. Is it
It's the
Blackwing?
Yes, it's the Fire Guard
terrible.
Destroyer and the Blackwing
Terrible.
Corruptor.
Let me find out. Blackwing Corruptor. I think you're right. Because the Blackwing is the faction from that raid.
You know what I don't ever remember is
What?
what's that card that clearly no one's gonna use that's 6 mana that turns into a 9/9?
Draconoid Crusher. Why did I know that one right away?
Dracanoid. Okay. I can
Dracanoid
never remember
Crusher.
Dracanoid. I know
That
it's
was-
the Crusher. But
That was my professional wrestling name too back when I was on in the WWF back in the day. They called me Dracanoid Crusher.
Oh boy.
I'll make
So-
that coward Hulk Hogan eat his boots.
Oh man, so many banana breads. I want banana bread.
And juice. So a
You
healthy combination.
And so these are, I believe we're handing these out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the fans that survived.
Exactly, because we
So
are
far.
at 11:23 p.m. here in Korea.
The crowd has thinned out a little bit. They want to catch the subway before it closes.
Yeah, the last cars in the metro and whatnot.
The subway closes here, by the way.
No, it's not.
Doesn't run 24/7, which is nice because that means the subway is clean and not full of crazy people.
That's true. Coming from near I can tell you that.
Blackwing Corruptor. Yep, you got it.
And here it is. Boom. Perfect value for it too, right into the shredder. But a 3/2 comes out. Not bad.
Yeah,
Not bad at all.
it works.
Alright. Now, last turn, Looksam did have the option to prep Sprint, but, you know, with both with the earlier minions down, I think he went and put the shredder down for some pressure.
You know, with that 5/4 out makes it a little bit awkward. He can just very comfortably actually Fan of Knives into Eviscerate if he wants to clear everything.
True.
And yeah, you give your opponent a little bit of extra armor, and that is always a concern for Rogue, of course, to give your warrior opponent some armor. But looking at the way this turn is lining out, do you really see any other options?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
you
mean,
could prep Sprint.
you could also prep Sprint. You know, once the Grim Patrons start hitting too, then Fan of Knives just kind of becomes a dead card.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Alright.
but Orange, of course, wasn't
Oh.
running Patron Warrior.
So
right?
Orange is actually, yeah, he's not running Patron Warrior. You're right. Never mind.
Orange is the one who brought the Dragon
Never
Warrior
mind.
today.
Yep.
And hopefully Looksam was watching the matches. I would hope so.
You know, the more I see it, the more I like these Blackwing Corruptors too in this deck.
Black and Corruptor's pretty good, man.
Very cool. I wonder if he actually does run Nefarian or if he's only running Ysera. I would imagine you'd probably
it's been pretty standard to run
probably running both, right?
3 top, late game
Alex
dragons.
Strasza,
Alex
Ysera,
Strasza,
Nefarian, right.
Nefarian. I feel like that's pretty common for Dragon Warrior.
Mhm.
And it would make the most sense because you're basically replacing a lot of your late game cards with that, and it
Yeah.
still holds similar value.
And you still put Gromash in there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I believe most people still do. Baron Geddon is often in there for clear, but that's obviously
course,
a tech choice.
Well,
It's also a deck choice, I'll tell you that.
with the rise of Mech Shaman again, apparently, maybe Baron Geddon isn't a bad choice.
Yeah, I think Mech Shaman rising up.
I don't think it's going to rise very far.
I don't think it'll rise too far, but it kind of makes sense as, one of those aggro decks that can win in any condition, depending on what you draw.
I'm just not a big fan. Well, easy clear on the armor smith, but again,
That's a
just
lot of armor.
more armor. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit crazy for Orange here.
39. I mean, Oil Road can burst pretty hard, but
Not
that's
that
a
hard.
lot.
Yeah, I think Looksam is running into some problems now. Well, it's got some options. I think, yeah, this is the most clear one. And then you just armor up again. He does have a lot of nice combinations to take out things that appear on the board. I mean, the real trick to taking out Oil Rogue is just to never allow them to have a minion that survives a turn, right?
Yes.
Because you just don't want them to get that Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil turn. And with Orange's hand, look, I mean, he's got Shield Slam, he's got Cruel Taskmaster, he's got another Blackwing Corruptor. So, he's in really good shape. Really good shape right now.
I mean, if he keeps going like this, when exactly does he want to use the sprint? I guess to prep sprint and then try to have a full-on turn.
Perhaps.
But you have 2 sprints. I feel like you could have used one of these a little earlier.
You could even Shield Slam for 6 mana here. Why not? He's going to go ahead.
But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because, you know, in Looksam's view, the obvious would have been to just kill the Death Spite, but Orange not falling for it. And also in Oil Rogue, generally, what are you going to save that BGH for? Nothing really, so I think that's a solid choice.
For that very occasion, Chobra.
Yeah.
Built some nice little board as well, too. And here comes the prep.
Okay.
Prep Sharp Sword Oil, and it looks like he's going to be able to clear and take a big chunk of the armor off here as well.
All right. Trying to set something back up here.
Yeah. Not bad. Cleared the board, cleared a lot of the armor. Now, obviously, the Strake isn't going to survive to really do anything.
Yeah, because you've got the Shield Slam, you got the Corruptor.
So, let's see. This turn, Emperor Tharazin and a Shield Slam, perhaps. Just to get out there, get things a little bit cheaper. He obviously could still run into it, but he doesn't have a lot of armor to do that with yet.
Yeah, the Shield Slam, yeah, you would need to use the Corruptor, too, to clear this out, so.
Yeah. That's right. So that actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, the
Mana-wise.
Corruptors are really good.
Yeah, they do seem to be getting a lot of use.
This is rough, because I don't mean to get all caught up in the past, but I really would have liked to see the sprint earlier.
Yeah, Looksam is certainly struggling here.
I
It is just a tough matchup for Oil Rogue as well, too. And
true,
it's
because I mean it's not too different from before in how it plays. It's just basically you could call it tech choices in Orange. Orange is trying to figure out exactly what Looksam is hiding with those 4 cards, which, to be honest, isn't much.
the thing is that Looksam can still come back and win games with this. Whereas a Warrior, you know, it's a pretty easy matchup.
Yeah.
So would this have been better served against, you know, per se the Paladin or something like that?
Maybe.
And there's his own Emperor Tharazin.
Yeah, that's going to reduce the cost of some of the larger minions.
He shield slammed Looksam's Emperor Tharazin so hard it flew all the way around the earth and came back and landed on his side of the board. That's impressive. Wow. Man.
It's pretty harsh.
Just not. Yeah, you can see Looksam shaking his head.
Yeah.
대지가 정말 많아.
I guess you have to mystery. Or if he's going to sprint, I guess he's fishing for the crab.
But he's still got that 0-cost deadly poison, so we can still get more apprentices. Oh,
No
wow. Ouch. Ouch. You can at least... Okay, I was wondering if we were going to see the deadly poison just to get another apprentice out of it. Guess not.
Yeah, but is this... Yeah, that's lethal with...
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, because that's 14 more damage. And he only needs 13. So that is it. So Orange taking a very, very smooth game number 1 with that Warrior. But it's out of the way now. So Looksam, you know, will have other opportunities with this Rogue. But Orange off to a good start.
Yep. Kicking things off with his Dragon Warrior, showing off the power of those Corruptors. And we will be moving right on into set number 2. Orange does have his Druid and Warlock left. with Looksam having all 3 of his decks available.
Right. So Druid and Warlock for Orange.
For Looksam, I wonder if you can still try to kick things off with your Rogue here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get a win against both of these, right? Or one of them.
Eventually, yeah.
One of them, anyway.
So you might as well still try to get a win with it.
Now,
too.
I'm trying to remember. We've seen so many games today. Orange's Warlock deck was more handlock oriented, wasn't it?
I believe it was straight up him.
That's what I thought. Okay. Well, we'll see. Not this game, but we'll see at some point. Druid versus Paladin for our second game.
All right, Looksam's switching things up for himself. And so is Orange.
And overall, you know, I kind of like this for Looksam. Having the equality, having the ability to deal with the big creatures from Druid, and being able to put some difficult to remove board pressure early on with things like the shielded mini-bot can make life a bit difficult for Looksam.
Yeah. All right. Well, for Looksam, yeah, keeping that seems fine. The equality, of course, for any innervated out minions or the shade.
Consecration.
Ooh, consecrates there too.
Yeah. So if you coin out the shielded mini-bot, all you really have on turn 2 is making a dude. So yeah, he's just going to wait, which I think is pretty reasonable. No wild growth or anything like that for Orange, so he's not going to get the fastest start ever.
Yeah.
And innervating out a shade just doesn't feel good. I think it's just going to be, yeah.
Might as well start chipping away at Looksam, because with Druid, I mean, you just got to get towards the combo.
Oh, Knife Juggler. Okay. Now, do you toss that out now?
Because there is a high chance it will get wrapped.
Yeah, that's true.
At the same time, if it gets wrath, you're forcing wrath on turn 3.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You do force Orange to play off curve and play a little bit awkwardly.
But if you're Orange, do
Well,
you innervate?
I was going to say you could Wrath, Innervate, Shade of Naxxramas. Next turn you would still have 4 mana. You would still have that Keeper. So actually that's not so bad. The question then becomes kind of what do you do after turn 4?
Right.
He's going to have to draw something. Going to have to hope he draws something anyway.
Yep, there we go. We're going to innervate and the Wrath to clear. Keep the Shade safe.
Indeed.
And like you said, Orange is a little low on cards now, so to hope for something worthwhile next turn.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a tough choice for Looksam this turn because if you muster for battle, you know you're running the risk of swipe because it's such a tempting swipe target when you do that right as they go into turn number 4.
Yeah, pretty much the best swipe target.
He's going to roll the dice, yeah. I mean, the thing is that he's got the coin, so if he were to draw into a quartermaster, that would be a pretty big turn of events. But I think Orange is not going to allow that risk to happen.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you just go ahead and swipe. Because again, like I said, it's one of the best targets against Paladin. You don't really have any other big uses for it. Sure, you could use it to get rid of one big minion later on, but like you said, especially with the addition of quartermasters, it runs a double risk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could just kill 2 of these and then not have to worry about it quite as much, because then pointing out the quartermaster wouldn't be worth it. I think it's just going to leave it. All right. Well. I'm not able to consecrate, really.
Yeah, and you want to save your coin for that equality consecrate on turn 5.
Yeah, if he needs it. I might just go ahead and save it for turn 6, too. Could coin out Lotheb here. Maybe. I mean, you're leaving that Keeper of the Grove kind of sit there, too. I say maybe just shield a mini-bot and make a dude, but wow, he's going to equality. Okay. I mean, it does still make the Shade killable by Consecrate next turn.
Very true.
That doesn't really change anything.
Okay.
So we might see Orange attack Faith face this time just to be on the safe side, make sure he gets that damage in.
Yeah, it would be kind of sad to see it go without doing any damage.
Yep.
At the same time, if he does reveal it, it probably won't get consecrated. It'll just get traded with the shield and mini-bond.
He could play Druid of the Claw in taunt form and then attack with the Shade anyway. Then consecrate.
Force to consecrate.
Yeah, wouldn't be the most efficient thing. It would still take everything that Looksam has to clear it. Everything on the board to add up to that other 4 damage. Or no, it wouldn't take his. He wouldn't have to attack with his weapon, but
Right.
he'd have to throw both of his Silver Hand recruits at it. And you have to be kind of worried about the looming specter of Quartermaster as well, too.
Yeah.
He's just gonna. Okay.
Not attacking with it. Okay. Taking the risk here. Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta consecrate.
Yeah. The only tricky part is that you don't have any minions on the board after you do this. No, I take it back. You have the Shield of Minibot.
Yeah, with
So
the
actually
Divine Shield. And you could still coin out a dude, too.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel the greatest.
Never feels good to coin a dude, though.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know where your mind was, Shober, but
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know, but it was
What-
funny either way.
what does it mean? It sounds
It
so
doesn't
strange.
matter. It doesn't matter what it means. It's just funny.
It's probably some old Englishy thing that we don't know.
That's true. Did you know?
What?
Today I learned
Uh-huh.
that Pokemon
Uh-huh.
was used as a word similar to clumsy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Back in like the 1890s.
What? What?
So this came up, and I mean, this could be completely made up, so I didn't actually double search it for myself. But this came up because someone was doing the Google search for Pokemon, and you know, like how often it's searched and whatnot, and
Sure.
suddenly it showed like a surge of searches for Pokemon in 1890, and obviously that can't happen because you didn't have the internet in 1890.
Yeah.
But what Google does is it also searches instances of that word in Google Books,
Oh, really?
and so it found Pokemon in books in the 1890s, and someone explained that that was because
All right.
back then there was a lot of study on the Cornish dialect for English,
Oh,
and in the Cornish dialect, Pokemon was used for clumsy.
wow.
Isn't that crazy?
You are so full of knowledge. I had no idea. That's amazing.
That's where we are.
That's where we are in this game, pretty much. Yep. Yep. Kind of describes the state of things right now. Consecrate, coin, Aldor Peacekeeper could make for a pretty clean clear for Looksam. Might want to save the coin to coin out Tyrion, of course, next turn. You can still do something like Piloted Shredder or Piloted Shredder Dude, or just Sludge Belcher. Although that would leave kind of an awkward situation with the Shade and the Druid
Yeah,
of the Claw.
you gotta clear them.
You've got such a good turn 7 anyway with like Sludge Belcher Dude or, you know, Piloted Shredder Dude too, that I kind of like this instead, yeah. I think he's going to do it. Yep. That, then you consecrate, and then you clear.
Yeah. There.
Or you just play Piloted Shredder.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Still.
No, that does work.
Yeah. Okay.
And Orange, though, with those double Savage Drawers, it's a good thing those were cleared, because he was pretty close to just having enough
Exactly.
damage to straight up kill him.
Yeah, if he left both minions alive, then he would have had lethal, but
Yeah.
he does manage to clear all of them and get 2 extra minions on board, or bigger minions rather, because he traded his dudes.
Well, Piloted Shredder. We'll see what comes out of it, I guess, next turn. But if it's like a succubus or something, you know,
Yeah,
then he could have lethal.
that's true.
All right, Wild Growth just for a little bit more mana, and there
Oh,
is Lay on Hands.
well, I guess you just Sludge Belcher here.
Yeah.
Just go face, and Looksam pretty much secures the game for himself.
Sludge Belcher, make a dude, probably first. Might want to take out the Paladin Shredder first.
Yeah, you can see what comes out of it. Clear with the Aldor. Or... Okay, so... Generally,
Oh, it's...
not a fan of that choice in case a Doomsayer came out from that. But
Yeah.
I guess you were planning on killing it anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But even then...
Although you would have had a turn with the Doomsayer just sitting there if you were Looksam, so... Yeah, you're right. I think he could have just gone to face and played the Sludge Belcher. He's just worried about the full combo. Like,
right.
because the full combo would not kill him, but it'd come close. And his opponent still has a lot of health, you know?
Yeah.
So you pair that with a swipe, and it could have been a quick death for Paladin. Emperor Thar is not too helpful right now.
Well, it's, yeah. Nope. Can't even make an argument for it.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure from here, it's that orange. I mean, what could you draw in the next 2 turns in order that would win you the game, right? It's
Force of Nature, Force of Nature. But even that, I mean, when he puts down Tyrion Ford Ring, is not going to be enough.
Exactly.
So I don't think there's really anything Orange could draw unless he goes into, I don't know, Keeper of the Grove, Force of Nature. But you need both of those pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, so most likely over here in favor of Looksam, but of course Orange has to play now, especially with Thorson. I mean, if you have 2 Saboteur Wards that have been reduced, that's
Now,
pretty epic.
if Thorson lives and he draws a Force of Nature, he would have the double Savage Roar combo.
True.
That would certainly be lethal, but I don't think Looksam's going to allow that.
Yeah, I mean, he also has Lay on Hands, so
Oh yeah, that too.
Looksam has 2 ways to seal life from this. Probably looking for lethal if he can.
Yeah,
He's
it's...
got 14, 15, 17, so might as well just take it for him.
Yep, yep. All right. And going to face with everybody.
Yeah, well, if Orange...
Yeah, he would need like mass silence or something. This just is not happening this game.
Yeah.
Wrath, nope. If you cycle, you can't do the double combo.
No.
Yep.
I believe that is straight up.
Yeah, that
Game
should be it.
over.
I think we're going to have a 1-1 tie here between these two. Wrath, he's just seeing what he gets. I don't know what he's expecting to draw. Harrison Jones not going to help. Yep. Just going to swipe. That's still plenty of damage for Looksam. Yeah. Maybe thought about doing that in Harrisoning, but it is over. And so Looksam able to take that second game, so we're all tied up.
All right, 1-1. Well, I'm glad that all of our matches are being pretty interesting, and that we are kind of going the long mile here, where we're going back and forth in terms of matches themselves, and within the matches, just goes to show that the Korean players definitely have improved, at least the cream of the crop here in Korea, where they can compete on par with the global players.
Yeah, I think tonight has really shown that the top 4 Korean players are certainly right up there with some of the best players in the West. Obviously, we still need to see a lot more tournaments, but it has certainly not been one-sided, that's for sure.
Yeah, basically time will tell, but definitely going upwards, right, for Korea. Sure, it is only the top 4.
Yeah.
But maybe by the end of the year, that'll change to like the top 8.
And the other thing to consider, too, is that already last year we had a Korean player get to the semifinals of BlizzCon.
Yes.
So it's not like there weren't good players in Korea. They're just, we're not a lot of them, you know?
Exactly. There was like 1 or 2 last year. Now we have at least 4. We still have people like Financial Rainy Hour.
Yeah, the scene has grown so much since then. It's time to move into game number 3. It's going to be Druid versus Druid. Just one last little note on the scene here. The qualifiers for the first season of OGN Masters was about, I guess it had about 150 people try to qualify.
Yeah.
I heard today that they had 270 for the second one.
Oh, wow.
So it's much more popular. Ah, there's Wild Growth.
It's all
See Orange kind of nodding his head there.
It's all of Jungle Ramu's friends.
That's right.
They
Unfortunately, Jungle Ramu was not able to qualify for the next season.
Oh, no. Did he at least show up?
Yeah, he did. He just didn't make it.
Oh, no.
Yep, qualifiers are done.
That's, he got all those packs and they just slacked off.
Do you want to hear another kind of sad story from from the
No,
qualifiers?
no, I don't know if I can handle that much feels.
You sure? The results are public. We're not spoiling
Do let me
anything.
know.
Should I tell you?
Do it.
All right.
Break
so
the news to me.
both our other two semifinalists, Looksam and Flurry, failed to qualify
No.
for next season. They did. They didn't make it.
But they're the ones who are still in the tournament.
I know. That's why. Hopefully we'll change the format next time.
Oh man.
Oh well. Only the finalists get to qualify.
Well, this will be the last time that we see Looksam and Flurry for some time then.
Yep, unless they start going to some other tournaments.
Well, yeah, at OGN.
Yeah, the thing is you know, we did see some players start to get picked up by foreign organizations last year, so it could continue. Either way, pretty quick start for Orange, able to get that Shade of Naxxramas out fairly quickly. Looksam can certainly answer with his own, and he's got a really great curve, actually. I'm really liking Looksam's hand right now, but you could say the same thing to almost the same extent for Orange, though. Ooh, and there's the Innervate, too.
Yeah, I do like the return of the Chillwind Yeti. I think in some cases it can really make a strong return in mid-range Druid. I don't think the Shredder is necessarily always better for mid-range Druid, but
Yeah, I agree.
in most cases for any deck, right? Especially if you're kind of just learning the game, it's like, well, which is better? It's like, well, you might as well always put in the Shredder.
Yeah, the Shredder is a bit more volatile, and obviously it has less health. And in the Druid mirror, too, you'd definitely rather have the Yeti, because it doesn't die to Wrath.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Azure Drake it is, and he's got an Innervate. If he draws into something useful, nope, not this turn.
But he does have his combo
He does,
set, so I think you just go.
because he can Innervate it out in 2 turns from now.
Yep. So in 2 turns, that will be a 6/6 Shade.
Well, he has a lot of damage on the board already just with Savage Roar.
In fact, in most cases here, he's gonna have lethal next turn or next.
Well,
next
he's got
turn.
20 damage, or I'm sorry, 21 damage next turn with just Savage Roar. If everything stays on the board as it is. 22 if he uses his hero power. And so he's still a little ways off from lethal, probably. Although, yeah, even if he played Swipe, he still wouldn't be able to win next turn. But he's very close.
Yeah, but it weren't. Yeah, basically 2 turns in most cases is how he'll be able to get that win. Yeah, I think Lothiv is good here. I think you also want to clear at least one of these minions, if not both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Just the Azure Drake getting taken out by Looksam.
That is double Savage Roar now.
Wow.
Things getting pretty scary here. He could use the Keeper of the Grove to take down the Chillwind Yeti, which would be pretty nice. Just to kind of stabilize the board, make sure he's not taking too much damage in return. That's what we're going to see, yep. See your power of the face.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Orange, for the moment, he's looking pretty good. But there are 2 Druids of the Claw. Probably going to see one come down as a taunter this next turn. Maybe you charge into the 2/4. He's got some answers to clear as well, too. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, you have to. Oh man, you gotta clear both and put up a taunt. Now, if you're Looksam, I don't think you expect.
Well, the
combo,
question
though.
is, how much do you want to play around the innervated combo? It's
Exactly.
just something
I don't know
that
if you
can.
really expect it.
Yeah. Well, I believe that is it then.
No, well, he can clear. Yeah, no, he can clear this.
Right. But is he still dead to the combo with the shade out there, being a 6/6?
No, he has 20 damage with the shade.
Oh, you're right. It'd be. No, wait. 14 plus 8.
Oh no,
is
822.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets buffed too. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
he's got
right.
exactly.
That is
Yeah.
my bad.
So that is it. Yep. Force of
Oh,
Nature,
man.
innervate into the Savage Roar, and Looksam's like, well, can't. I mean, you can't play around that.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes. And so Orange able to take the lead again in the series here, 2-1 with exact lethal on turn 7.
All right. Well, only the Warlock left for Orange then.
Yep.
Whereas both the Rogue and the Druid will need to make a return for Looksam. Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's hard to play around innervated combos and cards for Druids, but at the same time, to some extent, you do need to just because
putting out a taunt.
perk of Druids.
Putting out a taunt definitely would have been safer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think in most cases you could have done that and you could have still cleared those with your bigger minions. So it's a little bit of a greedy play in some ways to try to save your larger minions.
And we're already into what could be the final game of match number 5 here.
Yep, the Warlock coming out, the Druid returning for Looksam, and the Warlock for Orange, I mean.
Yeah.
There is a Molten Giant there, but I don't know if you keep it against a Druid.
Yeah, by the time you're low enough to play it, you're dead. So I don't think he's gonna keep that one. Probably throw back everything actually there.
Now for Looksam, it's a little bit trickier.
Yeah. Throwing back the Paladin Shredder.
Yeah, it's a...
He knows it's handlocked though, so he doesn't need to worry about that early pressure. So
Right.
I can see that.
Oh, wow. He gets a BGH, and he gets to keep a Keeper of the Grove for a Twilight Drake.
Much better hand. Much better hand.
That's really solid. And there is a Twilight Drake on the side of Orange that he's waiting to play.
Yep. You know, the big game hunter, when the gold card, it keeps like showing his gun shooting, but he's not really aiming at anything. He's like loading it, right? So that's really dangerous. Big game hunter might lose a finger or two that way. Yikes.
I guess so. But doesn't matter, man. As long as he hunts the big game.
It's true, you don't need all your fingers for that.
Yeah, just gotta be able to pull the trigger, you know?
You just need a creature that's powerful enough, and you can just kill it in one shot.
But it's gotta be powerful enough.
True.
You know, maybe that's why, because he doesn't aim, so it's gotta be a big enough creature. You can't shoot like a squirrel or something with it. Makes a lot more sense now.
It's true. Well, it's a little bit overkill to use an elephant gun on a squirrel, right?
Well, Hemet doesn't think so.
That's true. He's okay with it. And there's the early taunt from Looksam, just setting up something that's a little bit tougher to deal with for handlock.
Yeah. There's Mountain Giant.
Well, what do you think is going to happen this turn, Chobra?
It'll probably get shot, and in most cases, the Mountain Giant shouldn't be affected by a gunshot. But
The Tofu Giant would be, though.
the Tofu Giant would be, and this is the case where it's the Tofu Giant.
In Korea, it's the Tofu Giant, guys.
Yep.
That's what they call it.
Or it's just like, nope. There it is.
It's like, I like how Looksam waited till the very last action, be like, do I have it? Do I have it? The mind games.
It is the mind games. It does matter.
All right, well, the Twilight Drake could come out this turn.
What are your other choices? I guess you have a Belcher. The Belcher's not too bad,
Oh, okay, yeah.
to be honest.
That makes sense.
Now, you do have a Molten Giant, so you don't mind getting a little bit low in health, but already 8 more would be quite a bit lower.
Yeah, again, I mean, with Druid having the combo, yeah, you really, by the time you get low enough to play that Molten Giant, unless it's immediately taunted, it's probably not going to do you a lot of good.
Exactly.
Yep, so all the initiative right now pretty much going over to Looksam. Will he maybe consider using that silence now, or do you just drop down Sylvanas? I kind of like just throwing down Sylvanas here, but
I was gonna say, what about the Shredder and the Hero Power just to clear? Because your
Okay.
big game hunter is gonna kind of die trade anyway.
true.
This, I think, more so because this is the most efficient way to clear that. You would have to hit both of your taunts, or both your minions on board, and that would have been inefficient health.
I see. Ah, another Mountain Giant.
Ooh. And you've got a Dark Bomb for...
For the Paladin Shredder?
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, though, wouldn't you use it first?
But then you couldn't play the Giant.
Oh, yeah, duh.
See, that was a conundrum I was in. I was like,
you're right.
Check for it. Oh,
boy.
okay.
Interesting.
I thought that was going to be a Doomsayer because it was on fire, but you can still clear the Mountain Giant now with this, because Swipe will do 5 damage, and then you can just hit with the Pyromancer. So that's actually not bad. Then you have nothing else to play this turn, though.
Yeah. I wonder if we're just going to see him Thor's and then go to face.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Or Sylvanas, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm probably getting too aggressive here, actually.
Oh.
I don't think Thorzen is the best answer. Maybe is. Maybe, see, it's like when you do a multiple choice test and you have your first answer and then you're like, no, that can't be right, and then you change your answer. But the first one was always
usually,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. See, I changed my mind on Thorzen and ended up being probably the right play.
Yeah, I think yeah, so I think you could have hit, even though 14 is a bit low.
Yeah.
Now that means we will be looking at double giant taunts.
Only Sunfury Protector can taunt, though, in this case.
Yes.
He's not going to be able to use the Defender of Argus. And so at least you don't have to deal with the extra health and attack.
Yeah, but 2 8/8s is still pretty hard to deal with. Now, the problem is that you can't get rid of Thorson this turn unless you silence the taunt.
Right. And if you run in and kill Thorzen as well, too, that really weakens one of your taunters.
Yes. Huh.
Now, if there are no taunts, then that would mean that Force of Nature plus Swipe would probably add up to lethal with everything else that survived. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah.
Hellfire. Oh, boy.
Oh my. So that, alright.
There's the taunt. Alright, hold up. Silence plus Force of Nature, he doesn't have enough money. Yeah, he does. He does have enough for that because of Thorzen. So he silences. Ah, no, he still couldn't do it, though.
Wait, but if he silences and then he swipes face.
Oh.
Silence the Molten, swipe face, and then you hit, and you hero power, that's lethal. Or no.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, chill,
You're
bro.
one off.
It's like it's midnight, and we're still casting. I couldn't even say midnight, right?
It's midnight.
It's midnight.
Midnight, mate.
It's midnight. It's midnight, and this is when you swipe the face at midnight. You got it? Good.
Alright, if you silence it and you swipe the face.
Swipe the face. Remember,
Swipe the face, it's
this
back.
is the,
It's back.
This is a rule in Hearthstone. Just swipe the face.
Then.
Break the wrist, swipe the face.
Yeah.
Sweep the leg, swipe the face.
Then he's down to 1 health. But he can't Jiraxis next turn, right? So I think that's still worth it considering.
Well, you've got so many ways to just deal quick damage. You've got Druid of the Claw. You've got Keeper of the Grove. You've got Force of Nature. You've got ways, children.
Wow, and then
Interesting.
well, that's still lethal with what you can have on board if he doesn't have taunt.
Antique Healbot.
Yeah, he does have anti-killbot, but
Well, you hope you draw into the combo.
oh, there's
Ah, and a Sludge Belcher comes down as well, too, so it's not over yet for Looksam. I liked bringing him down to 1.
yeah, me too. Personally.
Just
I feel that this was too safe of a play, but when you're at 26 health and you're the one threatening lethal, I don't think you should be too afraid of taking 1 hit to the giant for days.
the thing is swipes are usually like the major way to end games against Warlock. This is dangerous. Orange not playing around the combo at all. He's not going to get punished for it, though.
Yeah,
This combo would have been lethal.
but I think in Orange's case, that was probably Because even if you had the Belcher, wouldn't you? Oh no, I guess you wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. You wouldn't have died if you would have put down the Belcher even.
Oh
if
no,
they
no,
would've
you
had
would
a
have.
combo.
You would have, because
Would
you
you?
wouldn't have healed up, and you would have been 9, and your Shade would have killed the Belcher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So-
see. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I think this is better in the case that there isn't a combo. So now what do you do as Looksam? I mean, now that you've played super safe past 2 turns.
Let's see. 9 plus 4, so he can only do 13 this turn, max. I wonder if we're going to see him cycle that, then go for a hero power to finish it off, then play a Druid of the Claw. There's a combo. So do you just drop that Druid of the Claw in taunt form now?
Yeah.
And hero power the 2-1. Just really try to set yourself up for lethal. And you went with Sylvanas, okay. All right,
Okay.
Another way to clear out taunts, certainly. And another way to go for the face. So what's it going to be? Are we going to see the silence come down, perhaps? We have to see the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, at this point you gotta play for the safety here.
Yeah, you do need to play around the combo.
Now
That's reasonable.
now does he? Oh no. Okay, well
Well,
that is.
that's it, I believe. Yeah, unless he draws a Sun Fury Protector.
Well, no, he
No.
can put down his.
Oh, he can
Belcher,
still play
yeah,
Sludge
yeah.
Belcher, never mind. My monitor is so tiny, I thought he had less mana in there. Okay, well,
Not enough mana for the silence. Plus
yeah.
the combo.
If he would have gotten the Innervate, he would have been able to do it. Because of the cheaper Keeper of the Grove. So, do you just play the Keeper and then silence the Sludge Belcher? And then toss up the Druid of the Claw in taunt form, or charge it in. Although if you do that, you're just... Yeah, if you do that and they heal bot, then you're going to feel dumb. And
Yes.
if you do that and put it down in taunt form and they Shadow Flame, you're going to feel dumb. So this is probably the safer play here. And now he's got the Innervate, so next turn he's got all sorts of ways to win.
I would just wait though if you're gonna innervate it out anyway.
Yeah, at this point you don't need to commit to playing anything right now.
그러면 어떨까? 누구도
I think-
기다리지 않는다.
I think maybe you silence. Maybe actually you just silence the Sludge Belcher here.
You could, but then again, if they put down another taunt,
yeah,
that's
you
the
would
thing.
want that for the Watcher or another giant. So,
He's just going to put this down in taunt form then.
yeah,
어디를
that seems the most
공격할까?
reasonable. That leads to the win the most.
Yep. All right.
Oh.
Defender of Argus. Well, it's a good thing he didn't use that silence yet.
Yeah, but he will have 3
He
taunts
did
next turn.
He did use the Innervate too, so he can't combo and silence.
Huh.
BGH. Not too helpful here. He can still Twilight Drake and then taunt. And you might
Yeah.
as well just put down as many taunts as you possibly can. The question is, with 3 taunts, are you going to be able to survive the combo?
Yeah, I think so. Well, oh, actually,
Well, he's got 15 health, so he's 1 above dying to the combo, actually. And Sludge Belcher is not going to get burned through. So there you go. Yeah, that works. That works. So this game has gotten really interesting.
yeah. It's actually turned out to be really back and forth after the first little bit.
Now, Looksam has got to know that there's not a lot of taunts left in Orange's deck. So I don't know if you really need to play around it as much at this point,
그러면 어떨까?
but it's certainly interesting. I bet he's wondering where like the Shadow Flame is too.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The Shadow Flame hasn't come out, but the second it comes out, Orange can suddenly take a big lead.
Yeah.
Given how many minions he has to use it on.
So maybe with 24 health, you just Scenarios here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do you just Scenarios for the taunts? I mean, because you also don't have an ideal way to get rid of the Watcher.
Yeah.
Is one of my concerns.
That is true.
Uh,
Now, he also did not buff the Twilight Drake. He buffed the Ancient Watcher as well, just so it would put it just out of range of dying to one of the 5 attack minions.
yeah.
He's going to play there.
누구도 기다리지 않는
Oh, he's going to combo. Okay. Well, let's see what he can do. All right, let's see. He's calculated it out. It's either going to be lethal or it's going to be very, very close. And there we go. 11 plus 4, that is 15, guys. So that is lethal for Looksam. Wow, finding the lethal and getting it. That is going to bring us to another Game 5 tonight. Really going the distance between these two players. Yeah, really well played by Looksam that game.
Yeah. Yeah, both of them constantly, mostly Looksam, of course, constantly looking for that lethal each turn and then coming out to discover it at the end, right when you need it to.
Yeah, really well played. So, we're down to Warlock for Orange and Rogue again. And so we've got Handlock versus Rogue. Not traditionally the best matchup for Rogue.
Yeah, it hasn't been in the past, but again, with Will, it's a little different because you can stay a little bit higher. Now, again, so basically if Orange doesn't draw the taunts early like he did last time, then
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty rough for him.
It can always go like hyper in favor of Rogue if the draws just don't come through for Warlock. But we'll see. All right, he's got a Twilight Drake in his hand. That's always good to see early on.
Yeah, he's got a Shadow Flame in case the Violet Teacher comes out early, and he has a Loatheb, which...
He'll probably throw it all back except for the Twilight Drake. No, he keeps the Mountain and the Loatheb. Okay, cool. I suppose the Loatheb is so vital that you're willing to just hold on to it, but...
Yeah, I mean, especially in Handlock, because you're not trying to flood the board. The Molten
Yeah.
kind of surprises me. It's kind of a similar concept, I guess, as keeping a Siege Giant or something like that.
Well, if he gets a taunt and Looksam just kind of goes for the face and tries to rush him down, that could be like a game-changing play to play the double Molten with the taunt.
Yeah. Well, 2 preps for Looksam, but nothing really 2 prep.
Yep.
2 preps, but nothing 2 prep.
Oh, wow, nice draw there. Another Mountain Giant. And things looking pretty good for Orange so far, but again, we'll see what Looksam draws over the next few turns. If he's able to draw into like a sprint or something like that, would be very good for him. I think you just make your weapon here and call it a day.
Yeah.
Call it a turn at least. You have to end your whole day.
Looks
Call it a
right.
turn.
Made my dagger.
Yeah.
Day's over.
And he's just gonna poke him. Poke him for 1.
Is that what Falier does? Takes her dagger out and just like kind of
Pokes
pokes
you.
you.
But it's a poison poke. That's another Mountain Giant. Wow.
Wow.
That is some great draws for Orange.
This is a pretty rough start. It's going to be a pretty rough start for Looksam.
This is going to be nearly impossible for Looksam to deal with, actually. 2 Mountain Giants and a Twilight Drake. He doesn't have any saps in his hand right now. He has no way to deal with any of this stuff.
Yeah, we might just see it.
It's going to be pretty one-sided, yeah. It's looking really good. So probably going to throw down the Twilight Drake first, unless he wants to put some pressure on. Ancient Watcher.
Okay.
Just trying to draw any and all cards he can out of his opponent's deck as fast as possible.
Yeah, and Looksam, it does throw Looksam into a conundrum. It's like, do I try to deal with that, or
It's
what
like,
do I do here?
and it really makes him wonder too. It's like, does he have an Owl to play next turn to silence that so he can attack with it? Because in this matchup, there's not a lot that Ironbeak Owl is going to do against Rogue. It's going to mostly be used, for things like the Ancient Watcher. So, yeah, this is a real puzzle for Looksam here. But I think Piloted Shredder is probably still the way to go here. Maybe Violet Teacher.
Yeah, I think just the Shredder is
이건
the best.
I just like the Violeted Shredder. Violeted Shredder.
The Violet Shredder has been painted
Wow.
purple.
I am just...
It's getting
It's
real
time
late
for bed,
here.
man.
Yeah, it's
time for bed. I woke up at 4 a.m. because of jet lag today, and then I slept like an hour or 2 here and there. But it is now... It's now midnight, Chobra.
Yeah, it's a little past midnight. Yeah, I don't know why. I woke up super early today, too. It's been a weird day, but
Wow. Well, this is the please don't have AoE play from Looksam, which is it's a bold move, admittedly, against Handlock.
Oh, well, Orange should have listened to me, man. Should have kept that Shadow Flame. Although I guess he doesn't have a minion to use it on, so.
So you can just play Mountain Giant here.
Yeah, but the point still stands, right? That Looksam will probably have to deal with that Mountain Giant before Orange has to deal with this board.
Yeah. Well, Blade Flurry means he can clear this, actually. Not if he plays Loatheb, of course, but it's an interesting situation.
All right.
Well, he's just going for it. He's like, all right, I just don't want you to AoE. Even if you have Hellfire, even if you have Shadow Flame, can't use it now.
12 damage on board, 15 damage on board.
There's the Sun Fury Protector.
But you can only taunt up one.
Yep, because of the Loatheb, you can't coin it out after playing the Mountain Giant. That's right. So take your anger out on Loatheb. He's the one who caused all this. That's right. Take that, Loatheb.
Yep.
Another Mountain Giant. 19 health, though. If, let's see, what happens if Sharp Sword Oil gets drawn? Well, we'll never know.
Well, you've got 10 damage on board.
Yeah. It feels like Orange should be able to stabilize next turn.
Yeah, depending on his draw. A lot of draws, basically, will allow him to stabilize next turn. I wonder if you played Flurry here to clear that Mount Giant plus hit face.
I mean, you could clear both Giants if you Blade Flurry.
Well,
And then just
right,
run other
if
things
you
in
clear
there.
your board too. Alright, but he's choosing to just clear them with the tokens.
That is some rough homework that Violet Teacher's giving those apprentices. Go run into a Giant. All right, well, should see some taunts here.
Yeah, most definitely. Twilight Drake and Sun Fury. Can't, looking at it, because he doesn't have... Well, I guess he has...
You really can't afford to not taunt. Well, you could play Loatheb, I guess. Yeah, Loatheb would do it.
Yeah.
And you could still coin out if you want to, but I like Mortal Coil, actually. Is he going to Mortal Coil? I think Mortal Coiling the Apprentice might not be bad.
That's also a good point. I was actually thinking of coining out the Sun Fury Protector.
If you're playing the Loatheb, you're already pretty committed to not taunting this turn. There we go.
Oh, okay, and he gets a Sludge Belcher. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, we're back where we were.
Should be pretty stabilized now for Orange, actually. He's got the Sludge Belcher on the way. He's got other taunts. He's still got two Molten Giants, so... Feeling pretty confident for the Warlock at this point.
Yeah, we're kind of back where we were in that last game.
Yeah.
Orange finding a way to stop right at that 14-15 limit.
Let's see what he draws with the Azure Drake. Violet Teacher, okay. Not the most useful thing right now. He can trade his current Violet Teacher into the Giant.
Yeah, you...
Kind of have to, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that it's more a
I mean,
necessity here.
he could attack it with his weapon, too.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Really wanted to keep things alive.
I mean, it's kind of fine.
Kind of fine. Well, that's, you know what else is kind of fine, Chobra? Double Molten Giant turns. That's what's kind of fine, and that's, I think, what we're going to see here from Orange. He's got Sludge Belcher as well, too. So he's got the ability to produce a lot of taunts. But I think just having the ability to double Molten Giant is so nice, especially when your opponent really can't attack into you anymore. Attack into your minions anyway, that is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, here they come.
Yep. I was going to say you could life tap and make them free, but that'd be a little bit overly bold. And Looksam shaking his head. He knows. He knows. That is what we call the death of Rogue right there.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do here?
There's not much you can do. There really is not much you can do at all. Yeah. You're pretty much dead here. I mean, there's no way to kill either one of these Molten Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Even if you you would have to sprint, and well, he already used both preparations, so he can't do that. I was going to say you have to sprint into like a prep eviscerate to kill even one of them.
Exactly.
And that's it, along with Blade Flurry. But he already used both preparations early on tonight, or this game. So I don't think Looksam's making it out of this one.
Yeah, still trying to fish for something, and you might as well sprint. I mean, maybe something that you haven't really taken account of, but
You need preparation for whatever you're going to draw here.
that is very true.
The Eviscerate, I suppose, would help. And he does have that 1-mana Blade Flurry. Oh, he does have Backstab. So if he backstabs Blade Flurries, or backstab Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry, run your Violet Teacher in, you can kill one of the giants, right? Have I done the math right for that?
Yes.
I believe so. And at least you take out Loatheb next to it. Yep. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, here we go.
Oh.
Warlock's at 9 health.
Oh,
there's a Dark Bomb, though. Orange draws it. That is
just
it.
what
Orange
he needed.
taking the win here in Game 5.
Bringing another win to the Global Geniuses.
Yep, that's right. And so that means the Global Geniuses are just one match away from possibly taking the day one.
This just gets more and more interesting because Flurry was the only Golden Coin player to make it to the top 4. The other top three were Godseal players, and now Flurry the only one left for the Korean top 4.
Wow. Well, Flurry's certainly probably the best player outside of Team Godseal right now in Korea.
That is true. A little bit of a rough match for Looksam here in the last one. But
yeah, another really close one, though. I mean, Looksam played well. Orange just was a little bit better. Cards went a little bit more his way, but another close match, and it keeps getting more excited here. We'll be back for their next one. Orange versus Flurry. Don't go anywhere.